Have you ever felt truly invisible, dismissed before you even spoke, your worth judged by the dust on your shoes or the humble clothes you wore? Have you watched from the fringes as others, born into privilege, moved through life as if the world owed them every comfort, every respect, simply by virtue of their name or their family's house? Imagine that feeling, that quiet sting of being overlooked, carrying it with you, letting it fuel a fire not of resentment, but of an unyielding resolve to prove your own undeniable value, not just to yourself, but to a world that desperately needs to see beyond the surface. This is the story of Anna, a woman who understood, intimately, the weight of that invisibility, and who, against all odds, rewrote her own narrative, transforming not just her destiny, but the very definition of respect in the hearts of those who once saw only shadows. Anna was a wisp of a girl, barely tall enough to see over the polished marble countertops in the grand Madrid villa. Her world, from sunup to sundown, was the scent of lemon polish, the soft whisper of brooms against parquet, and the rhythmic hum of vacuum cleaners. This was the domain of her mother, a woman with hands calloused by years of scrubbing, her back perpetually aching, yet her spirit unbowed, for she carried the hope of a better life for her only child. They cleaned for the Rojas family, a name synonymous with old money, with an air of entitlement so ingrained it was like a second skin. Young Sofia Rojas, only a few years Anna's senior, would flit through the rooms, her silk dresses rustling, her laughter echoing, oblivious to the quiet presence of Anna and her mother. Sofia's eyes would pass over Anna, seeing not a child with dreams, but merely a part of the house's furniture, an extension of the staff. "Move that," Sophia would casually command, pointing a dainty finger at a stack of magazines Anna was carefully arranging, her voice carrying an unconscious superiority. Anna's mother would offer a tired smile, a gentle nod, and always the whispered reminder to Anna, "Patience, mihija. Our work is our dignity. Never forget that." But Anna saw the glint in Sophia's eyes, the way her mother's shoulders sagged, the subtle microaggressions that chipped away at their humanity. She observed everything, the casual disdain, the unspoken boundaries that separated them from us. Every polished surface, every gleaming chandelier, every expensive trinket Sophia carelessly left strewn about, served as a stark reminder of the chasm between their two worlds. It wasn't just about wealth, it was about worth, about the fundamental human right to be seen, to be acknowledged as more than just a service provider. Anna absorbed it all, not with bitterness, but with a quiet, burning resolve. She knew that her path would have to be different, carved out of sheer will and unyielding effort, a path that would lead her far from the scent of lemon polish and the shadow of casual dismissal. She vowed that one day she would stand tall, and no one would ever overlook her again. The memory of Sophia's condescending gaze, the way her own mother's tired eyes would betray a momentary sadness, etched itself into Anna's young heart, becoming both a wound and a powerful, silent promise. Anna's journey away from the shadows of the Rojas mansion was slow, arduous, and marked by countless sacrifices. Her mother, embodying the spirit of pure devotion, worked double shifts, sewing intricate lacework late into the night, her fingers nimble despite their aches, all to save every cent for Anna's education. They lived in a tiny apartment, 2 rooms filled with books Anna devoured voraciously, each page a portal to a world beyond their immediate reality. Anna excelled, not just academically, but in every endeavor she pursued. She possessed an innate curiosity, a sharp mind that questioned assumptions, and an unwavering discipline forged in the crucible of their humble beginnings. While other children her age were indulging in youthful pursuits, Anna was poring over textbooks, learning English from old cassette tapes, and meticulously saving money from small odd jobs. There was a quiet intensity about her, a focus born from the understanding that her future was entirely her own creation, built brick by painstaking brick. She saw education not as a privilege but as a weapon, a tool to dismantle the invisible barriers that society tried to erect around people like her. After finishing school in Madrid with top honors, she secured a scholarship to a prestigious university abroad, a place far removed from the familiar echoes of her childhood. The parting from her mother was tearful, yet laced with a profound sense of purpose. Go, Mihija, her mother had whispered, clutching Anna's hands. Show them what you are made of. Never forget where you came from, but never let it limit where you can go. Anna immersed herself in her studies, graduating with distinction, her intellect shining brightly. She navigated the competitive corporate world with the same quiet determination, always observing, always learning, her humility masking a formidable intelligence. She climbed the ladder in technology and innovation, a sector where merit could, theoretically, transcend background. Each promotion, each successful project, was a silent affirmation, a subtle reclaiming of the dignity that had once been denied. She learned to lead, to inspire, to strategically outmaneuver without ever resorting to arrogance or artifice. Her past, rather than being a burden, became her secret strength, providing her with an unparalleled empathy for others and a keen eye for genuine talent, no matter its origin. She never forgot the feeling of being unseen, and it fueled her desire to ensure others were always recognized for their inherent worth, not their superficial circumstances. Years later, the crisp air of Madrid felt different to Anna. It was no longer the air of her humble beginnings, but the air of her return, marked by triumph and a quiet sense of destiny. She stepped out of the sleek car, her tailored suit a stark contrast to the faded uniform her mother once wore. She was now Ana Garcia, the newly appointed Vice President of Strategic Partnerships at Viridian Innovations, a leading global technology firm. The irony was a delicate, almost poetic hum in her ears. This was the very company where Sofia Rojas, the daughter of the very family her mother had cleaned for, was currently undertaking a summer internship, likely facilitated by her family's extensive network and influence. Anna walked through the gleaming lobby, the hushed reverence of the staff, a stark difference from the hurried, often ignored presence she once held in grand houses. She saw the flashes of recognition in the eyes of junior employees, the respectful nods from senior managers, and a profound sense of accomplishment settled within her. Yet beneath the professional composure, a complex tapestry of emotions stirred. It wasn't about revenge, it was about validation. It was about standing tall in a space where she was once made to feel small. Her new office was spacious, bathed in natural light, offering a panoramic view of the city. As she settled into her new role, reviewing internal reports, she began to notice a pattern, a recurring name tied to projects that seemed to lag or required disproportionate managerial oversight: Sofia Rojas. Ana observed Sofia from a distance, through the lens of company performance metrics, but the distant observations triggered a visceral memory. Sofia, now a young woman, still carried an air of nonchalant superiority, a casual dismissiveness towards deadlines and the contributions of others. Her laughter still echoed a little too loudly in the open-plan office, and her requests for assistance often sounded more like demands. She often arrived late, left early, and delegated tasks far beyond her intern pay grade. Anna watched as Sofia navigated the corporate world with the same unburdened confidence she had exhibited as a child, seemingly unaware of the hard work and dedication required to truly succeed. The contrast was palpable. Anna's past self, the quiet girl scrubbing floors, felt a strange connection to the invisible struggles of the company's administrative staff, the unnoticed backbone of Viridian Innovations. She saw Sophia's reflection in the faces of those who felt their efforts were disregarded, and a quiet fire reignited within her, not of anger, but of a renewed commitment to foster a workplace where every contribution mattered, regardless of title or background. The first few weeks at Viridian Innovations were a masterclass in controlled observation for Ana. She moved through the company with quiet authority, her sharp mind absorbing details, assessing inefficiencies, and, crucially, observing the human dynamics. Sofia Rojas, oblivious to the history she shared with her new vice president, continued her internship with a casual arrogance that was almost breathtaking. Anna noticed Sophia frequently arriving late, chatting loudly on her personal phone, and demonstrating a remarkable ability to delegate her menial tasks to unsuspecting junior staff, often with a sugary smile that masked a clear intent to shirk responsibility. During team meetings, Sophia would often interrupt, offer superficial suggestions, or, most tellingly, claim credit for minor contributions while simultaneously dismissing the hard work of others. Anna felt a familiar tug, a memory of her mother's silent forbearance, her quiet dignity in the face of similar casual dismissals. One afternoon, Anna witnessed Sophia snap at a facilities manager over a misplaced delivery, her voice sharp and condescending, exactly mirroring the tone she had used as a privileged child. The facilities manager, a man with tired eyes and a perpetually polite demeanor, simply nodded, his shoulders slumping. Anna's jaw tightened imperceptibly. She knew that look, that resignation. Sophia's behavior was not just unprofessional, it was emblematic of a deeper issue, a lack of fundamental respect for those she deemed beneath her. Anna tried to offer subtle guidance, suggesting alternative approaches, reminding Sophia of company protocols regarding deadlines and collaborative effort. Sophia, Anna had said gently one day, catching her in the hallway, timelines are critical in this department. Your team members rely on your contributions. Sophia had offered a dismissive shrug, her eyes already scanning the hallway. Oh, I'm just an intern, Anna. Everyone knows interns don't really do anything important, right? She laughed, a light, tinkling sound that grated on Anna's nerves. The words, the tone, were eerily familiar, echoing the very essence of the disregard Anna and her mother had endured. Sophia, still completely unaware of Anna's past connection to her family, saw Anna as just another strict manager, another obstacle to her carefree existence. She never truly listened, never absorbed the lessons, convinced her family name would always shield her from consequences. This was the cynical gatekeeper in full bloom, not actively malicious, but carelessly arrogant, blocking the path with her privilege and casual disdain. Anna realized that subtle hints would not be enough. The problem was deeper than mere incompetence. It was a fundamental flaw in character, cultivated by years of unearned privilege and a profound lack of empathy. The corporate ecosystem of Viridian Innovations, like any large organization, had its own rhythms, its own subtle power dynamics. Mr. Alonso, the CEO, was a figure of quiet gravitas, a man whose weary eyes often betrayed the immense pressures he carried. He was acutely aware that something was amiss within his company. Employee morale, particularly among the middle management and support staff, seemed to be stagnating. Projects, despite significant investment, often felt disconnected, lacking a cohesive vision. He often walked the floors, observing, listening, and it was during these rounds that he began to notice Anna. Unlike many of the other executives who commanded attention with their presence, Anna observed with a calm intensity, her questions precise, her solutions innovative and practical. She spoke not in corporate jargon, but in clear, concise language, always grounded in reality. She listened more than she spoke, and when she did speak, her words carried weight. Mr. Alonso observed how Anna interacted with the lowest-ranking staff members, the cleaners, the security guards, the administrative assistants. She would offer a genuine smile, a word of thanks, or even take a moment to understand their daily challenges. He saw her engage them not as subordinates, but as invaluable contributors to the company's success, recognizing their insights. He saw the genuine respect in their eyes when they spoke to her. This was a stark contrast to many, including, he regretfully noted, young Sofia Rojas, who often treated these vital employees as invisible. Mr. Twali Vort Halfweis. Alonso began to seek Anna's counsel, initially on minor issues, then on increasingly significant strategic challenges. He found her insights refreshing, unburdened by corporate politics or personal ambition. She simply sought efficiency, fairness, and excellence. He saw in her a leader who truly understood the importance of a unified team, from the top executives to the frontline staff. He also started noticing the subtle, almost imperceptible ways Anna managed to navigate Sophia's casual disregard. He saw Anna's quiet patience, her professionalism, but also the unwavering firmness in her eyes when she offered feedback to the young intern. He hadn't explicitly addressed Sophia's performance issues with Anna yet, but he was quietly gathering his own observations. And Anna's handling of the situation was becoming a silent testament to her leadership qualities. The CEO's trust in Anna deepened with each passing day, paving the way for her to assume more responsibility and, inadvertently, setting the stage for the inevitable clash that was brewing just beneath the surface. Sophia, meanwhile, felt a prickle of unease. Anna's growing influence, her calm authority, felt like an unspoken challenge, a subtle shift in the established order where Sophia's family name had always been her shield. The mounting conflict within Viridian Innovations began to coalesce around a critical, high-stakes project, a bid to secure a major international contract that could define the company's next decade. Anna, due to her demonstrated competence and the CEO's growing trust, was appointed to lead the core team. Sofia Rojas, much to Anna's unspoken exasperation, found herself on the extended project team, her inclusion likely a nod to her family's influential connections rather than her actual merit. From the outset, Sofia proved to be a liability. She missed deadlines, provided subpar research, and consistently attempted to shirk responsibility, often blaming miscommunication or technical glitches for her own shortcomings. During crucial brainstorming sessions, Sophia would interrupt, offering superficial ideas or dismissing valid concerns from more experienced team members. "That's too complicated," she would often declare, waving a dismissive hand. "We just need something flashy, something that sounds good." Anna maintained an exterior of unflappable professionalism, yet internally, the echoes of the past grew louder. Sophia's words and actions were painfully familiar, mirroring the careless entitlement that had once devalued her mother's painstaking work. Anna tried to gently, but firmly, guide Sophia, assigning her specific, manageable tasks and providing clear deadlines. Each time, Sophia would either procrastinate or attempt to offload the work onto others. The tension escalated when a vital presentation slide, crucial for a preliminary client meeting, was inexplicably incomplete. It was a slide Sophia had been specifically tasked with preparing. When Anna confronted her, Sophia simply shrugged, her eyes wide with feigned innocence. "Oh, was that due today? I thought someone else was handling the final touches. It's just a slide, Anna. We can fix it later." The casual disregard for the collective effort, the blatant lack of accountability, infuriated Anna. The team was forced to scramble, working late into the night to salvage the presentation. The incident, while seemingly small, highlighted Sophia's fundamental unreliability and her inability to grasp the gravity of her role. It was a public mishap that could have jeopardized the entire project. Other team members, tired of Sophia's antics, began to subtly complain to Anna, their frustration palpable. The CEO, who received regular updates on the project's progress, noticed the delays and the quiet undercurrents of discontent. He began to question the wisdom of Sophia's continued involvement. Anna knew a reckoning was coming. She had to address Sophia's behavior directly and decisively, not just for the sake of the project, but for the morale and integrity of the entire team. The conflict was no longer a subtle power play. It was a glaring impediment, threatening to derail everything Anna had worked so hard to build. The critical moment arrived during a high-stakes review meeting for the international contract bid. The atmosphere in the boardroom was tense, the air thick with anticipation. Mr. Alonso, the CEO, sat at the head of the polished mahogany table, his gaze sharp and assessing. Anna, presenting the final strategy, delivered her points with precision and confidence, her voice clear and authoritative. But when it came to Sophia's assigned section, the presentation stumbled. Sophia, attempting to present data she clearly didn't understand, faltered, stammered, and eventually admitted, I think there's a discrepancy here. This data might be outdated. A ripple of discomfort went through the room. The CEO's brow furrowed. Anna stepped in, smoothly correcting the error, her professionalism a stark contrast to Sophia's fumbling. After the meeting, Mr. Alonso called Anna and Sophia into his office. The air crackled with unspoken tension. Sophia. The CEO began, his voice calm but firm. Your performance on this project has been consistently below expectations. This last incident was particularly concerning. Sophia's face flushed. She began to offer a string of excuses, blaming system errors, demanding timelines, and even hinting at favoritism towards other interns. My family has always supported this company, Mr. Alonso, she ventured, her voice regaining a hint of its usual entitled tone. I'm sure we can resolve this without unnecessary drama. Anna remained silent, her gaze steady. Observing the scene unfold, it was Sophia's subtle invocation of her family name, the same unspoken power Anna remembered from her childhood, that finally prompted her. Anna chose her words carefully, her voice low, measured, but imbued with an undeniable weight. Sophia. Anna interjected, her eyes meeting Sophia's. Do you remember the large villa in the upscale neighborhood where your family lived when you were a little girl? Sophia blinked, surprised by the sudden shift, a flicker of confusion crossing her face. Of course, she said a little defensively. What does that have to do with anything? Anna's smile was slight, almost imperceptible, but it held years of unspoken history. My mother, Anna continued, her voice clear, was one of the women who cleaned that villa. Day in and day out, ensuring its pristine condition for your family's comfort. The words hung in the air, heavy with revelation. Sophia's eyes widened, her jaw slackening. The casual, confident mask shattered, replaced by shock, then a dawning horror. She finally saw it, the ghost of the past, standing before her not as a quiet cleaner's daughter, but as her superior, a powerful executive. The dramatic irony was palpable, the power dynamic flipped with stunning force. Sophia's face crumpled, her entitlement draining away, leaving behind a raw, unadorned humiliation. The very person she had once dismissed as insignificant now held her professional fate in her hands. The revelation hung in the air, a silent, profound testament to Anna's incredible journey and the stark reality of their intertwined destinies. Mr. Alonso watched the interaction intently, his understanding deepening with every word. Mr. Alonso, having witnessed the raw, unfiltered shock on Sophia's face, understood the full weight of Anna's revelation. It was not a moment of gloating for Anna, but a quiet, powerful assertion of truth, a reclaiming of dignity long denied. The CEO leaned back in his chair, his gaze shifting from a visibly shaken Sophia to the composed Anna. Sophia, he stated, his voice devoid of anger, but firm with conviction. The core of our company values is respect, accountability, and merit. Your performance, irrespective of your family's name, has been unacceptable, and your apparent disregard for the contributions of others, even those in critical support roles, is a fundamental breach of the trust we place in every employee. Sophia, still reeling from the historical revelation, stammered, attempting to apologize, to explain, but her words felt hollow. Stripped of their usual entitlement, Mr. Alonso turned his attention to Anna, his expression softening with admiration. Anna, he said, your integrity, your quiet strength, and your unwavering commitment to excellence are precisely the qualities we need to lead this company forward. Your story is a powerful testament to what is possible when talent meets dedication. He then looked back at Sophia, his voice gaining a resolute edge. Sophia, this internship can no longer continue as it has. You have two choices. You can accept that your performance requires a complete overhaul, that you must learn true humility and respect for every member of this team, starting from the ground up, and you can reapply for an entry-level position next year without any family influence. Or your internship is terminated immediately. The words were a stark, unequivocal blow. Sophia, for the first time in her life, saw the consequence of her actions, stripped bare of her protective privilege. Her eyes, still wide with shame, darted between Mr. Alonso and Anna. There was no escape, no family name to pull, no casual dismissal that could erase this moment. The CEO's intervention was decisive, demonstrating his unwavering support for Anna and his commitment to the principles she embodied. He saw Anna not just as a competent executive, but as a beacon of genuine meritocracy, a living embodiment of the company's true potential. Anna's quiet strength had not only exposed the underlying issues within the company, but also compelled its leader to confront them head-on, validating her entire arduous journey from obscurity to empowerment. The transformation had begun, not just for Sophia, but for the company culture itself. The aftermath of that pivotal meeting resonated throughout Viridian Innovations, a quiet earthquake that reshaped its very foundations. Sophia Rojas, humbled in a way she never thought possible, chose the path of difficult, unfamiliar growth. She accepted the CEO's challenge, agreeing to rigorous remedial training, stripped of all special privileges, and tasked with shadowing various departments, including, ironically, the facilities and administrative staff. For the first time, she truly saw the effort, the dignity, and the expertise that underpinned every level of the company, the same dedication her family had once so casually overlooked. She learned the names of the cleaners, the security guards, the cafeteria staff, engaging them not with condescension, but with tentative, genuine respect. This slow, arduous process of rebuilding her character was painful, but ultimately transformative. Anna's position within Viridian Innovations was not just solidified, it was elevated. Her vision for a company built on merit, mutual respect, and genuine collaboration was embraced wholeheartedly by Mr. Alonso. She spearheaded initiatives that championed internal talent, created mentorship programs for underprivileged youth, and established performance metrics that valued effort and teamwork as much as individual achievement. The atmosphere shifted palpably. Employees felt seen, heard, and valued, understanding that their contributions, no matter how small, were recognized. Productivity soared, and innovation flourished in an environment where fear of judgment was replaced by a culture of support. For Anna, there were moments of quiet reflection. She would stand by her office window, looking out at the vibrant city, and remember the small, determined girl who once watched from the kitchen of a grand villa. She thought of her mother, whose sacrifices had paved this very path. The journey had been long, marked by hardship and silent endurance, but every step had led her to this moment of profound vindication. The Rojas family, through Sophia's own humbled accounts, slowly came to understand the depth of their past casual cruelty. It wasn't about public apology, but a deeper, private reckoning within their own conscience, a dawning realization that true wealth lay not in what you owned, but in how you treated others. The power dynamic, indeed, had flipped, but it was not merely a shift of positions. It was a profound rebalancing of values, proving that true power lay in character, compassion, and the unwavering belief in one's own intrinsic worth. Anna had not just climbed the corporate ladder. She had, by her very presence, elevated the entire structure, infusing it with humanity. So, what does Anna's incredible journey tell us about our own lives, about the unspoken hierarchies we sometimes navigate, or the quiet battles others might be fighting right beside us? It reminds us, doesn't it, that true worth is never dictated by the size of your house, the shine of your shoes, or the name you carry. It is forged in resilience, in the dignity of hard work, and in the unwavering belief in your own potential, even when the world attempts to make you feel invisible. Anna's story is a powerful testament to the fact that character, integrity, and genuine talent will always, eventually, rise above prejudice and unearned privilege. It compels us to look deeper, to truly see the people around us, to recognize the quiet genius in the unassuming, the profound wisdom in those often dismissed. Her legacy at Viridian Innovations was not just about increasing profit margins or market share. It was about fostering a culture where every single person, from the most junior intern to the highest executive, felt valued, respected, and empowered to contribute their best. It became a company where the echoes of Anna's past spurred a future of true equity and opportunity. This transformation reminds us all of a universal truth. The most powerful revolutions are often started by the quietest voices, those who refuse to be defined by the limitations others place upon them. They are the hidden gems, waiting for their moment to shine, not for glory, but for the inherent satisfaction of proving that kindness, competence, and compassion are the greatest currencies. Do not underestimate anyone you meet, for within the humblest exterior, there might reside an extraordinary spirit poised to change the world. Share this story, not just to inspire, but to challenge. Challenge yourself to see beyond the surface, to recognize the worth in every human being, and to remember that the seeds of greatness are often sown in the most unexpected places. Let Anna's journey be a beacon, guiding us to build a world where respect is universal, potential is limitless, and every person is seen, truly seen, for the incredible individual they are.